Yes now and a bless now, people. Don't forget the rest now. Des from King of the Pit TV signing in once again. I'm tipsy, been sipping on a voddy and coke to be precise. Trying to sober up a bit with a little water. I've got a recommendation from the man, Maestro. That's his YouTube title, Maestro. The Don Dada. He says, check out Gojira, The Art of Dying, live at this festival. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, because I can't pronounce it. Alright? This was in 2010. 2.7 million views. 8 minutes and 19 seconds. Woo! So without further ado, this is the first time I've heard this tune. First time I've watched this video. This is Gojira, The Art of Dying. Let's see what I think. Sample. Although it would be interesting if you performed this on the percussion. I don't see why the drummer can't do this as opposed to it being sampled. Sounds like a strumming of an acoustic guitar, a muted strumming, so no notes are being played, the hands are placed across the strings, not creating any noise. I like the ticking of a clock, the passing of time. They're gonna bust out the screen or something, like WWE wrestlers. I want to give a shout out also on one of the last videos I did with Gojira playing live. I commented on the drummer and how he essentially stole the performance. He's just such an incredible musician. I said he can't be a metal drummer, he must be like some prog drummer into like the sounds of King Crimson and stuff, with the way he was doing his drum fills and performing. Turns out he's trained as a jazz drummer. So thank you for the commentation regarding that. Funky time signature on that drum. That time signature is crazy when you consider just how driving and consistent that guitar picking is. Is the guitar picking playing in the same time signature as the drum? Or is it just drilling away whilst the drums sort of creates the signature? What is going on, man? I know nothing about music theory, by the way, so don't hate on me if you're a musician. Someone in the audience has got to be having a seizure with that lighting. What's going on? Yo, we got a fairground in the background, so you can listen to Gojira, The Art of Dying, whilst having a little cycle on the big wheel. That sounds like my sort of night, people. A few twists at the top. Oh, that sounds evil. That's a riff. Not only is that a heavy riff, well, that riff is like a woolly mammoth that has been armored to fight alongside the military in a historic war. A herd of mammoths armored. Bro, yo, go to the Royal Armouries, yeah, in England, and you'll see some armoured up elephants. This is what that riff represents. I don't even care. I don't even care. That's the art of dying when you go head to head with 100 tons of tusk and leathery skin, my friends. The art of dying. Yo, I think that was a flag, but that looks like some black witchery right there. Did you just see that roll across? Watch. Look at that, it's just summoned the Wicked Witch of the West. Watch her float on by. Bruh. Heard that the drummer and the frontman are relatives. That I also learned that from a comment. Gojira have done well to last this long, because I know that's a recipe for disaster. Not only have you got the politics of being in a band together, but you've also got that family relation, which in all fairness you would consider it to strengthen that bond, but there's so much more than the band going on externally in that relationship. You can't just come off of tour and chill out for a moment, because that's your brother. You know what I mean? So that consistency is crazy. I always think that when I see bands and people are either in relationship with the band members, like a romantic relationship, or they're related to the band members, I think, wow. You know, when it's good, but when it's tough, that must be tough. I wonder what sort of metal these people listen to, as in the band members. Because they don't look like stereotypical metalheads, which is a very good thing. So I'm curious as to, when it comes to the realm of metal, what do they listen to in particular? Do they listen to progressive metal in particular? Obviously, I'm sure this act listens to the majority of music external to metal, but to create music like this where you're growling and you're creating heavy riffs, you gotta be pretty knowledgeable of how to create good metal music, right? So I'm interested to know what these dudes actually listen to when it comes to metal music. A little comment whilst I was just listening to that section. This band doesn't rely on guitar pedals. It doesn't seem, well, they might have like tones and so forth, but they don't have like any sort of wacky effects for the most part, and they don't rely on creating all these crazy soundscapes through, you know, foot pedals and whatnot. I appreciate that, and I just think it's a really good thing. Now that I've said that, that doesn't mean that I'm going to judge if any of that does come in, because why not? But generally, you know, they're a great band that just relies on their fingertips and good writing. Brilliant. The moment I say that, it stands on a bloody pedal, doesn't it? Quite an emotional riff in its own way, an emotional section. Snare just started breaking through the mix there. Blast beat. Drummers, metalheads, tell me if I'm wrong, but as far as that kick drum goes and being a metal act in front of a live audience, that doesn't sound like your stereotypical heavily triggered drum, does it? That sounds pretty organic, alright? I respect that sound as opposed to like the that you hear, you know what I mean, when you know, metal drummers, double kick drummers have to rely on that heavy trigger to sort of keep the you know, keep it punchy and consistent. This drummer doesn't seem to need as much of an accent on that. It sounds very organic. Another note is, I had a comment on one of the last Gojira videos. Someone who's very into the band, and he says he's heard of people referencing them sounding death metal, deathcore, prog, so on and so forth. But it was me who was the first person he heard say this band has moments which are very black metal. And if you listen to this sounds, the atmosphere, the double kick, the riff, this is quite black metal-esque. Listen to this. That bit, that's black metal to me. That blast beat is super mean. Alright, where are we going from here? This has been recommended, yeah, so I know this is good. It's been good so far. From what I've heard from these Gojira reactions, yeah, they always end on some ridiculous riff. Oh, I hope I get one this time. I hope I get one. If this was a hardcore show, that pit would be going wide right now. People clap in the crowd. This is a mosh riff. I like the little slide. I like that. I like that. That's A recurring theme listening to this band is I say a lot of these riffs sound like jam riffs, so like they've jammed it out in band practice as opposed to pre-writing it. This is one of them riffs where I think that they've just brought it all together and just jammed out in band practice and said, that sounds pretty good, we're going to have to do that. Which, if you write like me and you're a bit of a control freak when it comes to the writing process, that's very hard to do. You think, alright, I'll go home and write it in my own time and write what I'm happy with, and then everybody else has to be happy with it. But these lot obviously have a broad share of the process and they bring it to band practice together and do it. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know, but this is my, this is what I'm hearing with the sound of this section in particular. Looks a bit like Rambo on the drums there, you know, Sylvester Stallone. Watch him, watch him. Maybe not so much. Quality, that was Gojira, The Art of Dying, live in 2010. It was good. It was good. Not the heaviest tune by Gojira. No breakdowns, or at least there was a breakdown, but not a chug breakdown in particular. I thought it was quite good. The time signature on the initial riff, which I think was then reintroduced later on in the song, was good because it was quite a blag. Because the guitar seemed to just be driving standard straightforward, whereas the drums were just accenting these bizarre beats and creating this ridiculous sound. In all fairness, so that was good. Regardless, that's my opinion. I'm signing out, people. If you've got anything you want me to check out, leave a comment. That's Des, King of the Pit TV. One love.